What is going on, guys? Welcome to the On the Block podcast. I'm your host, Andrew Yalo. I'm here with the second evictee of Big Brother Minecraft Season 9, Davison. What is up?
Number 2, baby. I got second place.
Right. So what's going on, man? Like, tell me what you've been up to these past few years. Obviously, it's been almost 2 years since we filmed the show. So what have you been up to?
Yeah, it's been a long time. Number 1, I'm in a completely different place. My application video was filmed in my parents' house, in my bedroom, in the basement. Now I live in my own apartment. I've got like all my own stuff now. I'm just in a completely different life place now. Like I have my own routine. I have to get all my own groceries. Like I'm living the adult life at this point. So it's been like 2 years, which is crazy. Because we'll get into it later, but like I feel like a completely different person.
Right. I mean, you look like a different person. Absolutely, like in the best way possible, dude. Like, I mean, that stipend money must have really helped out from this.
Yeah.
All right, man. So let's just like kind of dive right into it. I'm sure like there's a lot of burning questions I hope to answer in this interview with you, because obviously your elimination was more the more strange ones. It was kind of unexpected. I feel like a lot of people were really having a lot of high hopes for you. I for one thought you were making it really deep when we first casted you. So let's jump into it. So when you initially started the game, like what were your thoughts? Like how did you feel going into the game?
So it's weird. I went into the game really scared. I like was going into it in the days and like weeks leading up to it super confident. I was like, okay, I've seen enough Big Brother. I am a super fan of shows like Survivor, so I have like the strategy down. But as the day kept coming closer and closer, I just kept getting more and more nervous. But like day of, I kind of told myself, you just got to do it. You just got to play. You can't plan for like who's going to be in the house with you. You can't plan for like the twists that are going to hit you. So you just have to like do your best and trust your instincts. And one of the best pieces of advice that I got from one of my friends right before I played was just trust your gut. Like if you feel like something's off, something is off. So that's kind of how I went into the game. I was like, play the game that I want to play, which was like social, strategic, but also like you got to be flexible.
Absolutely. And I mean, week one, it would seem like you were laying back. It seemed like you were, just kind of taking a back seat, letting other people kind of make targets themselves. And then all of a sudden you find yourself on the block, which was crazy, but
Yeah.
we'll get into that. So obviously, we go into the week and Boyar has become HOH because he survived the first eviction. And where did you stand with Boyar at that point? Like, did you want to work with him? Like, where was your head at?
Yeah, so I really wanted to work with Boyar because I voted out Nick week 1 because one, I feel like I didn't explain this well enough in week 1, but I wanted to play the Nick game better than him. I wanted to
Right.
play a very social game. I wanted to be the person that people could come to. I saw him as someone going like late in the game if we didn't take him out early. So that's why I did that. But more importantly, Boyar, I feel like would have targeted the people that I wanted to. Obviously, looking back, he didn't. Well, he kind of did. We'll get into it. But like,
Right.
I wanted to work with him because I was kind of like floating between groups after week 1. Like I kind of scoped out the field and like I had a list that I remembered. Like I was checking people's names off. I was like writing notes about everybody. And he was one of the people that I wanted to work with because, he's already a target week 1. So I can go in there, and build something with him and be like, hey, like you need allies, I'm here for you.
Absolutely. And so obviously you get nominated by Boyar, and his explanation is something we've never heard of before. He nominated you because of a wheel. So how did you?
Yeah.
What was your thought like when that happened?
My first thought was because he told us, before he announced his nominations, like, I just spun a wheel and that's it. I, like I said, I went into this game being like, trust your gut. My instincts are never wrong in these situations. And I knew as soon as he said that my name got picked. And obviously, like we know now, it wasn't really a wheel, but I'm like, oh my God, I'm going up.
Right.
So like, part of me was obviously you see this in the show. I'm pissed. Like that is the worst way to get put up because no one's really like looking at you as a target. They're just mad at the HOH for doing that in the first place. And I think the other bad part of it was that I got put against Landry.
Right. So I feel like another behind the scenes look that I feel like even Davison hasn't really seen, because just so you guys know, we're doing this interview before Davison's eviction episode even airs. So Davison hasn't even gotten to see everything that's happened. So we wanted to do this way so Davison can give us his full like raw reaction of before seeing all perspectives. So something I feel like I need to explain to Davison before he sees it is during the server outage where everyone couldn't move or where some people couldn't move, Jake took the opportunity to scheme a plan to try to just throw random people under the bus, and one of them unfortunately being Davison. So when the server came back up and Jake had the opportunity to throw people under the bus, he threw Davison under the bus to Boyar, and then that's how Davison landed on the block, unfortunately. So what is your kind of reaction to just, it kind of is a random, it's not a wheel, but it was just, feels random for sure. Like, how does that make you feel?
It was like knowing that makes me feel so much better than just getting put up randomly,
Okay,
because
yeah.
like I left the house being like my game fell apart because of like a wheel. But I kind of knew like something had to have happened. It was just a matter of like who did it, who said my name. And I think the worst part about it was like I didn't get to talk to Boyar before nominations. So I was like ready to tell him like, dude, I'm on your side. I voted to keep you this week. And I don't know, Jake too saying that is really strange to me because we had a conversation, I think week 1, maybe early week 2, where we were like, let's work together,
Right.
and maybe he saw me as a threat. That's definitely something I could see because I feel like if I got further in the game, I would have been a big threat. Um, but like I have nothing but respect for people trying to get me out.
Right.
I have more respect for that than a wheel. So
Oh yeah. I mean, yeah, it's not the best feeling. Obviously, there's a lot of confusion going on at that moment. So, yeah, I don't blame you at all for feeling a lot of bamboozled in that moment. So we go from nominations to the veto competition, and it's a Big Brother Classic. It's the Scooper Star veto, which we haven't done in my show yet, but we did take it from a real Big Brother competition. How did you feel about playing in just that veto challenge? Like, did you like it? Did you dislike it? Like, I want to know what your thoughts are.
see, in the moment, I hated it because, I mean, like everyone knows this. You always ask us, like, do you get the comp? Do you understand the rules? And I was like, yes. Like, I thought I totally understood it, but I kind of
Yeah.
like messed up at one part of it. And it was just because I was freaking out. Like, you can totally tell, like, I don't know what I'm doing. And the worst part about that is, like, I'm usually really good at those kinds of puzzles. That's why I went up against Landry first because I was like, if I can take her out, um, the veto basically gets used on me by like almost anyone else left in
Right.
that group, or at least it doesn't get used, depending on like what everyone would do. But in the moment, it's like people watching the show, like you can talk about like, oh, like you flopped, you didn't do that good. It's really fucking scary. Like
Right.
it's really difficult to like if you're not good at Minecraft like I was at the time, um, you kind of just have to like rely on your like basic skills, I guess. And like I was literally shaking. Like I couldn't do anything. Like my brain wasn't working. And like I've been in that situation so many times, but at the time I just didn't know how to handle it. So I was just like blacked out. Like, you said Landry won, and I was like, okay, I'm
Yeah.
done. Like I just
Right.
lost.
Right. And I feel like it's good that you mentioned that because I feel like from people watching at home, they may seem like, oh, this is easy. I do this all the time when I practice on my server where there's no real stakes on the line, right? There's money on the line. There's your life in the game is on the line. So yeah, I mean, you saying that you're nervous is completely valid. I'm sure a lot of people that have played on the show before could totally vouch for you and say that that's a legit feeling.
Yeah.
So obviously, Landry wins it. It's not really the best case scenario for you. She's gonna take herself off. So what do you think in that scenario? Like, do you think that like what do you think is going through Boyar's mind at that point? Like, do you think he's actually gonna like help you out, or do you think he's just gonna like, where's his head's at?
Yeah, so like I think after nominations, it was either I think it was pre-veto. I talked with Boyar and I did my best to be like, dude, I'm not mad at you. I totally get it. Like it's a hard situation to be in. Um, and he kind of told me, I don't remember if it was like he said like if he got the veto, he'd protect me or not, but like I had a feeling like I wasn't his target at all. And I could kind of see like the way I was nominated next to Landry. I kind of saw like what was happening in a way. So I felt like because Landry won the veto, she's gonna obviously take herself off. And I went to her and I was like I totally respect you. Like I'm not gonna ask you to take me off the block, but like, hey, if you want to, go ahead.
All right.
And like at this point, I'm kind of like, okay, well, now I have to figure out who I have to campaign against. Like, I didn't do any campaigning against Landry because I didn't know how the veto was going to go.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of looks bad if you're like campaigning against someone and then they get off the block and get a vote to
Right.
evict. So I was just kind of like, okay, hopefully Boyar puts someone against me that like everyone will want out. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I won't have to campaign. I like it'll be an easy vote, or maybe there's like a backdoor attempt that I don't know about, and everyone will be like on board with it.
Yeah, so when Boyar puts up Sage, you're at this point like you're like, do you assume that you're already screwed at that point, or do you think that there's some like glimmer of hope for you?
I think at the time it was both because Sage, at this point, I was a little upset because I was working with Sage. I had like a really good conversation week one with Sage. But the unfortunate thing is, Sage was working with everybody in
Right.
the house. Sage had a good relationship with everybody in the house. So there was that part of me that was upset about that. But then there was another part of me that was like, okay, Boyar clearly put Sage up for a reason. So I need to like capitalize on this. And I was in my head, I think I was just like, okay, Sage, they were the HOH week one. Maybe I can like work something in with that. So maybe like people are targeting them for that reason.
Right.
But the in the back of my head, my intuition was telling me like, you're going home. Like you got absolutely screwed.
Right. I mean, you really did though, which is unfortunate. But you do go home unanimously, which to me was just like it was a punch in the gut to see. Because like I mean, we really grew close to you during the casting process. Like I really did see you going far, and like however like 9-0, whatever it was just really rough to have to see you go through that. Because like I feel like you definitely deserve better. But like, what was your feeling after you got out? Like, how did you like? What was the emotion, the initial emotion, and also like, how do you feel towards it into like in the present day?
I think even looking back, it still kind of sucks a little bit because post veto, there were maybe like three people that talked to me.
Hmm.
So having that feeling of like, okay, I'm on the block and I feel like I'm gonna go home, and then like no one is talking to you or giving you like any assurance that something could change. It's like a punch in the gut because like you're already down, and like I'm trying to figure out a way to stay. And people are basically telling me like, hey, there's nothing you can do to stay. Like you're just screwed. Boyar did this to you. And like the other part of it that really sucked was people weren't voting me out. They were voting to keep Sage in the game.
Right.
So that's something that like hurt to me because I was like, damn, like I didn't even do anything bad. I didn't
Yeah.
piss anybody off. I felt like I was, building relationships with people. And when I heard the unanimous vote, I wasn't really surprised because I had people actually messaging me during the vote being like, hey, I can't vote to keep you because no one else is doing that. So
Yeah.
like I realized well after we filmed that like people were playing the game very safe, and like this happens in Big Brother, it happens in especially like new era Survivor where like people just want to know who the vote is
Right. And they just go with
and
it. Yeah.
they'll just go with it. And like I hate it because that leaves no room for like, hey, well actually this person is going to be a bigger threat down the road.
Right.
Um and like I don't know, it sucked, but I feel like the part that hurt more was as I was leaving, everyone was like, "Oh no, like we didn't want you to
Yeah.
go.
Right.
This sucks." I'm like, "Okay, then why did you
Yeah.
vote me
Right.
out?"
Makes
Like,
no sense. Yeah. No. I totally get that. And I mean, I mean, you're a viewer of game shows too. So like to go through something where it's so like unanimous and then to see it play out in like a real game show, it's almost like you can empathize more because it's happened to you, right? Like I feel like that's
mhm.
probably something that you can relate to. But I did want to also ask you if you wanted to talk about just like the initial like the Dolls alliance that like you weren't really involved in, right? Because like that's something that you were
Mhm.
left out on. So do you want to like just talk about that just from your point of view?
Yeah, I mean, well, first of all, I watched episode 1 and immediately the one of the funniest things to me is that little part when it's the dolls and they're talking about the guys, the guys,
Yeah.
and it cuts to both rooms. I'm not in either of those rooms.
Right,
I'm not
right.
with the guys and I'm not with the dolls. So I went into this season kind of being like, I just want to work with anybody and everybody.
Yeah.
I feel like there were a lot of people on this cast that came in saying, I want to do the dolls again, the dolls 2.0. And it kind of sucks because for me, when I was in that situation, I realized like, hey, I think there's like a dolls thing going on.
Right.
And I wasn't like included in it. And
Yeah.
I was like, I I don't know. Well, I know now, but like at the time, I felt very hurt because it felt like I was being excluded from something that would have protected me,
Hmm.
and it was also just kind of like people just kind of like were assuming things about me, or like I wasn't too much of one way or the other, if that
Right.
makes sense. Like I wanted to work with some of the guys, but if I would have done that, then the dolls would have been like, okay, well, he's with the guys. And then if I worked with the dolls, then the guys would be like, well, he's working with the dolls. So it's like this back and forth thing that I really didn't like in the house. Because, like, at the time, it felt like, okay, well, I don't want to pick between these two groups.
Yeah.
I want to have options. Um, but at the same time, I didn't find out about the dolls until later on. And by then it was kind of like I think it was like pre-veto or something, but it really did suck. Like after the season, and then like even before my eviction, I think I went to who was it was like Tara, and it was either Mac or Maddie. And at this point, I was feeling so left out of conversations that like I like came out to them and was like, "Hey, like I'm not a straight guy." And at the time, it was like it sucked to like do that because like
Yeah.
I didn't feel like I should have to do something like that on a show,
Right.
because I feel like everyone should be able to work with everybody, but I feel like there were so many people cast on this season that were just like, I want to work with these people only.
Yeah.
These are the bad guys. You know what I mean?
And so like, what do you have to say about that? Like, how does that make you like? How does that make you feel? You know what I mean? Because it sucks. Like, right? It's not like I mean, it's an experiment at the end of the day, right? It's just it's like a microcosm of society. We try to make it as as accurate as possible. But you know what I mean? So like, how does it make you feel?
It's funny because even since the show, I feel like I've been in this situation, because for me, I like to hang out with everybody. I make friends with all kinds of people, and when it was happening in the house, it was just kind of like it made me feel like I had to pick a side,
Yeah.
and that was not something I felt comfortable with. And I think I talked with a couple of people about this after we filmed, but I was like, "Hey, that really sucked. That it felt like I had to like literally come out to you guys because you were gonna like target me for being like straight or something." Um, and even looking back now, I'm like, well, that's also still kind of fucked up because if you're just going against the guys because they're broing out in the storage room,
Right.
like that's like go talk to them, you
Right.
know?
Yeah.
And I would get it if the guys were like targeting the girls and the gays or something, but they weren't. Like at that time, like the guys were just kind of like targeting everybody. Like
Right. It
there
didn't
were
matter. Yeah.
no targets. Yeah.
Well, I'm glad we were, we're able to like learn something from your perspective. I'm sure that like, throughout the season we're going to learn a lot of different perspectives. Can't say much, but yeah, I'm glad that you're able to just share your side of the story too. And yeah, that's great. So like I guess where does that stand today? Like I'm guessing like you've been able to resolve some of these feelings with some of these people.
Oh yeah, I feel like the cast, there were some people that like when I left the house, I was pissed at Boyar, and then I was telling, Sage, like win this game. Like you're gonna be HOH next week, you know what to do. Um, there were very different feelings after my eviction and after we finished filming that I was like, okay, you know what? I don't really vibe with this person. This person is getting on my nerves,
Right, right.
because it took me a while to process everything because like the girls in the gays situation and then like the unanimous vote, everything that just kind of happened so fast in this episode, it kind of like messed with me because I
Yeah.
was like, I felt powerless. I felt like no one like had my back because no one was really talking to me at certain points. So like when we finished filming, I was like, I didn't feel really close with many people on the cast.
Yeah, which is fair. I
Um,
mean, I don't blame you for that at all, for sure.
yeah, and like it, that's not to say like it was anything personal. It
Yeah.
wasn't personal. It was just a game, but like I wanted to win. Like I wanted to
Yeah.
make it far, and to get second out like sucked because I am super competitive,
Yeah.
and like I was ready for like a full day. I had like snacks and
I know,
food. I
man.
had my
Yeah.
meals prepped. But there were people like on the cast that like Tara, she was my absolute diehard like number one at that point. And I just remember being like, I am rooting for you, like no matter what happens, like you were a fantastic person. I was rooting for other people as well. But like now that it's been almost 2 years,
Yeah.
I don't have any ill will towards anybody. I'm not even mad at Boyar anymore.
Right.
I've talked to like Jake about like the things that he said, and we cleared everything up. It's just a game at the end of the
Right.
day. So the only disappointment I really have is in my own performance. It's not what anyone else did.
For sure.
Um, but at the same time, like as the episode comes out, I'm sure it'll maybe stir a couple of things up in my head, and at the end of the day it's not personal.
Right, and
So
I just really hope that like some like real valuable conversations are willing to be had about this, because like it's interesting, because I feel like out of like all the seasons I've been able to like witness and see play out in front of me, I feel like this is one of the more interesting ones where you have a more mature cast and you have a lot of more like real issues coming into play. And I'm glad that we're
mhm.
able to like just sit down, analyze it, talk about it, because at the end of the day, it's pretty interesting to just like kind of like unfold and just really evaluate it. Um,
Yeah.
and with that being said, like if you had stayed this week, like let's say it were unanimous in the other way and everyone voted out Sage, in a different universe, right?
Right.
Like what would your plan have been? Because you would have been head of household.
So in my head, right, like at the end of that episode, because I can say what I would do now, knowing everything I know,
Right.
but after that episode, I one absolutely would have put up Boyar,
That makes
but
sense.
I would have had a conversation with him at least, because if I had stayed, it would have validated like I wasn't the target. So I would have had like a conversation with him, and I guarantee you, as like I'm having conversations with people getting ready to do nominations, some information would have came to me about like, hey, this is why I put you up, or like other people being like, this is what I heard, this is, whatever. So I would have played it very strategically in the sense that I would have gone out for blood. Like it doesn't matter who my target would have been. I would have like put both of them up at once and then renommed whoever after that. Because like I in this like alternate universe would have just survived a
Yeah. Right.
vote where I was like very likely to go home. So I would have had to like really solidify my alliances, and like the only thing that I know for sure now is I would not have put up Terra. I probably wouldn't have put up Mac or Maddie. I probably would have put someone up that was quiet alongside Boyar. So like Boyar and Via probably would have been the two, because me and Via didn't really connect. I don't think we really talked at all, actually, looking back.
Yeah. I
But Via's just
Prepare
quiet,
yourself for
so
all of the Via fans to come at you. I'm just letting
yes.
you know.
No, I love Via. I love Via. I love everyone in this cast. But no, yeah, I mean, looking back, like you can only work with the information that you have. So again,
Yeah.
I probably would have put up Boyar, but I would have at least tried to hear everybody out, because
Absolutely.
that
Yeah.
would have been my opportunity to like build a solid alliance with people.
Awesome. Well, if there's nothing else that you need to like add about just like your experience as a whole, because I know we really touched up on a lot about your game here. Do you have any just like unresolved issues, or just like anything in general you just want to say about your experience on the show?
Not really. I mean, well, for me, we've had so much time now to like reflect and talk
Yeah.
to each other about like what happened. We have like this shared trauma now of like
Yeah.
all the things that happened on this season.
Oh yeah.
Um, it's a lot, but like looking back, this was like my first time ever playing in a recorded. I had never done something like this before. And I'm not going to say I wasn't prepared, but a lot of these people on this cast just straight up either outplayed me or were more experienced than I was. So this has like completely influenced how I play other game shows. Because I've played on other recordeds now. I've played on a bunch of unrecordeds, and like this is the thing that introduced me to that.
Right.
And this show gave me perspective on my game that has helped me succeed in a lot of other shows.
Cool.
So like I'm thankful for that, but at the same time I'm like, damn, if I could go back and play like as the version I am now, I can guarantee that like I would have at least made it to like Final Four because again, baby me in this game was like not prepared in the sense of how fast people played, you know,
Right.
how schemy certain people were, and how like dirty some people were willing to play at the end of the day.
Right. I mean, I definitely wasn't expecting the level of gameplay. I mean, we just came off of like a real kumbaya like season 8. You know what I mean? Like we just came off of a very like happy-go-lucky season, and then you come to like a season 9 and you're like, whoa, what the fuck is going on? So no, I don't blame you at all. I'm glad that you were able to, you know, take it as a positive and like, you know, improve, I guess, like just future games you play. I mean, that's, we love to see it. You know, I wouldn't wish that you would, you know, harp on this experience too much. I mean, it's just literally at the end of the day, it's just a Minecraft game show. So I'm glad you're able to like really like take something positive from it. So that makes me happy for you.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have nothing else to really say. I mean, like I think we covered everything. If any fans out there have any questions for Davison, you want to drop them down below, feel free to do so. And Davison, I'm sure will answer them in the, you know, whenever he gets a chance. Just
Yeah.
I'll make sure he goes and answers them.
That's funny. I was like, if any of his fans, I'm like, if I have fans, I'll answer any question.
I'm sure,
Like,
bro. I'm sure you do. We got a lot of people watching this season. We got a lot of eyes on this project, so I'm sure you got somebody out there rooting for you, for sure.
awesome.
Absolutely. All right. Well, thank you, Davison, so much for doing this exit interview, and yeah, thank you so much, man.
Absolutely. This was awesome.
Hell yeah. All right. Thank you all for watching. We'll see y'all in the next one.